Welcome back to Jack and Flash on SEN Hobart, brought to you by Harrison Agents. Selling your home, Harrison Agents have got your back. You can give us a call on 1300 42 1533 or send us a text on 0437 552 535. And one off the text line here, hashtag Team Paney. The only Warnie we should listen to is the Tasmanian who gives AFL fantasy footy advice. Flash, this reeks of self-promotion. We know DT Warnie, he loves the show and always tweets us the night before and is very active on our social media. I think he might have just taken the chance to give himself a little bit of a pump-up.
Don't mind it. I'm in full agreement with him. That's the thing, I think. Yes, he's a good man, Warnie. If that is that Warnie or is it someone else giving Warnie yourself?
I reckon we're going to say it's Warnie. We don't know.
Beautiful.
Tweet back in Warnie if it was you or if someone else has thrown him under the bus. Well done. I enjoy that sort of stuff. So no, he's good on the old fantasy stuff, old Warnie. So not my cup of tea, but yes.
That's a good segue into talking about a bit of footy. Because there is a bit happening of recent times, the last week or two.
Flash, it's November.
The AFL I know, but the AFL does an amazing job to try and keep it in the back page of the Herald, etc., etc. But a few things, and can I run you by a couple of things that we've, and it's always the bloody rule changes, rule changes, and it seems to come up all the time. Let me tick off a few things with you.
Yep.
The new rule last year, the standard rule at the mark. Now, how did you feel it worked? I mean, it seemed to, for observing, especially in the first several weeks, there was a real aesthetically it looked tremendous, and maybe coaches worked things out as it went on. What did you find it from someone who's generally down one end of the ground and you can see it all happening in front of you?
Yeah, no, I think like any new rule, it always evolves during the year, and coaches are pretty smart, and coaching groups are extremely smart in terms of exploiting the rules or managing them as well as they can. I was a bit worried early on when this one got announced because I thought, there's going to be 50-metre penalties left, right, but players adjusted to it fairly well. What it did create, though, is it created this panic early on where the game was so free-flowing, and I think that was quite evident to people watching the footy over the first 4 to 5 rounds that there was high scoring, there was really good flowing bits of play, and it probably caught a lot of teams on the hop really in terms of how to defend it and how to actually play the rule. So whether it's in the explanation, you actually don't have to come up to the man of the mark. You can sit back 5 metres. So sides we see started to sit back 5 metres. But ultimately, it probably led to a little bit more flooding and sides maybe not pressing up as strong defensively and just sitting back in their own back half and recapturing the ball in their own back half. So I think it was a miss, that one. I'm not big on the old standing the mark rule.
Now, this old chestnut's come up again from the GOAT on this occasion. And from history-wise, we're talking about Lee Matthews. He has talked about this for as long as I can remember. Our producer Mitch Scott's old sparring partner Kevin Bartlett used to always be on about this as well. And they want, and they're continuing to talk about how they want the ball to be given more time to dispose. In other words, first in, whoever grabs the footy, give them more opportunity to get it. So in other words, when you tackle them, maybe you got to do a 720. They've got to throw the ball up into the sky, into the clouds before you throw the whistle up and actually blow a free kick. Is it just me here? Well, this is garbage, isn't it?
No, look, on that explanation, I don't think that's the way to go about it. I'm a bit more of would like to see tackles more rewarded in terms of even
definitely
lean on the side of holding the ball, actually pay those free kicks. Free kicks are, I think they're the frustration of the supporter, especially when they go the other way. But that for me is actually the key to getting the game up and going a little bit more free-flowing as well. The other rule I would bring back is the third man in the ruck. I think that's important in terms of clearing the ball out of the general vicinity and actually having players on the move, because the movement will create player movement will create ball movement. So, no, I disagree with that take in terms of allowing players to hold on to the ball for longer, because right now players are still coached to say if you're on the ground, then don't cough the ball up, because a cough up turns into a real quick bit of play and gets away. So the longer players are allowed to hold on to the ball, the slower the game's going to become for mine.
Couple of very quick ones. What about rotations, interchange, subs, etc.? Where do you have we got it right? Do we wind it back further?
I think unlimited. Get speed on the game. Allow players to be at their best. Allow them to be fast. Allow them to be dynamic. Everyone thinks that rotations will slow the game down because players can rotate behind the ball quicker, but I'm telling you now that if players are fresh, it's easier to run forward. And running forward is downhill, and I can speak from absolute experience. I am not going to run. I'm not running harder towards the opposition goals. I'm running harder towards my own goals, because you've got that little lick of the ice cream on the end of it to maybe get the little sneaky 6-pointer. So I'm running faster towards goal offensively, and I think rotations now, in terms of what players can do, we want the speed on the game. We want that dynamic play, and I know collision injuries happen, but that is a part of AFL football.
Are we happy with the Medi sub?
Don't mind it. Interesting application of it in the last little bit. So, no, certainly one day out before the start of the season, I think we'll have a Medi sub where it may have missed the mark a little bit. Any more on the AFL there, Flash?
No, I think that's about it. It's they're the ones.
We got it in the news. We got it in the news.